Hey guys, welcome back. Mark here, and I thought we'd actually do some work with playing sounds today. So a lot of times, games have sounds. All games have sounds. They make part of the game sometimes, the music. Think of Mario Brothers, beep, 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 beep. We all know that sound, and we might really say, okay, yeah, that's Mario Brothers, let's play it. Zelda, Dragon Quest. Think of all the great soundtracks you guys have heard while playing games. So we want to actually play sounds in our game. Now what I've already done is I've actually found some sounds on the internet. I've actually found some wave files. And I found a Midi file in which we're actually going to rename here right now just to make it easier. And we'll call it game start just to make it easier later on. But we can play Midi files, which are like large music files. A lot of times you hear Midis in games. Nintendo games, you hear the sound, it's from a Midi file. But we can also play wave files. We can play a lot of different sounds. So the first thing I want to do is, let's go ahead and actually play a sound. Now there's a few settings we want to think about when playing sounds. And let's look at the beginning here. Let's play this file. So that's the beginning to Pac-Man. So let's play that when we start our game. And we're going to do that right after the italics here. And we actually want to play this sound when we ever start our game. So seeing that it's a wave file, we want to use this command called play wave. And then we actually want to figure out where our file is. So we want to drill down to it. So we're in sounds. Backslash, let's see, Pac-Man _ beginning dot wave. And now there's a couple of commands we can give it here. And actually, yeah, there we go. So we could either just leave it blank, so not say anything here, no comma or anything. And if we do that, what's going to happen is it's going to play the entire file. We're not going to be able to do anything else in our program until that finishes playing. So let's go ahead and run this. You notice our game window doesn't load. We have to wait for the entire window to load. That's the default. That's called sync. So if we leave our file in the default sync mode, we can't do anything else with our game or window or program until that file finishes playing. So what we want to do is actually use what we call async here. So we're going to say async. Async allows our game or program, whatever it is, to continue. So this allows it to keep going. Now if we play this, you can see that even though the file was playing, it still loaded our window. We were still able to go ahead and eat our red dot, and we still get stuck against the block. So not too bad, right? Pretty cool. I think it is anyway. So let's go ahead and add some more things here. So one thing we want to do is when we're unloading and closing everything, we want to make sure that we're setting our play wave to stop. We want to stop any wave files that are playing. And we do that by doing play wave and 2 double quotes. But let's think about what we have. So if you guys look over in this window over here, we have chomp and eat fruit. And what we can do is whenever we move our Pac-Man, let's chomp. Let's actually play chomp. So right here, we're going to do play wave. And remember, it's in sounds. And make sure we do all the uppercase and all that and drill down to sounds. So it's called Pac-Man _ chomp dot wave. And once again, we want async. If I can spell right tonight. So that way we can continue working with our program. Now, what we also want to do is we want to do this when we go left as well. So let's go ahead and copy this. and put it under our left command as well. And run the file. So we have our load music. So you can see whenever we go left or right, or whenever we press left or right, we're going to play that sound file. It's kind of crude in this setting because, you know, we don't have a loop that plays our music and everything, so we can make this even better. But you can see how we can play files. We can play sounds. So when you hold it down, he's not going to play any sounds. But every time you press it, he will. It'll play that sound. So we might have, in a loop, we might have play sounds. And that loop might say, okay, if the character is going left, keep playing this sound. And there's actually another sound that we can do, or another setting, excuse me, that we can do here. We can actually loop this. So we have the default, which is sync. We can set it to async, or we can set it to loop, which will actually keep it playing. So if we were to loop this, we'll just do it on left here, loop. And if we go, that's our default to the right. And that's the loop. It's going to keep playing. So if we go left, it's going to keep looping around and around and around. So, you know, we can actually make better controls. But I just want to explain this to you guys. I know it's kind of clunky here, but we would refine this as we went along. We'd make sure that it looped this way, it didn't loop that way. We might have a loop counter. There's different things we would build in, but this is how sound works. So those are the real four settings that we have with sound. We have the default, which is sync. So we go and look at this. If we were to put nothing here, that would be the default sync. We have async, which you guys have already seen. And then we have loop. So those are the four settings that you can have with sounds. And we'll leave this async here. When we look at the fourth setting, that's when we're exiting. We actually want to set our sound to none or blank, nothing. We're not playing any sounds. So just remember to put that in there. So the next sound we want to use is, let's go ahead and eat fruit. So the dot, we're going to use this sound, this wave sound, just so when we eat the fruit, something else happens. So we're going to say find dot. So if we collide with a dot, we're actually going to remove it. But let's go ahead and let's do this underneath where we remove the sprite here. We're going to play wave, and we're going to do sounds. And we're going to say Pac-Man _ eat fruit dot WAV wave file, and then async. So now if we play this, or run it, we're actually going to get our sound. So whenever we move our character, he's going to make a noise. Whenever he eats a dot, you see we got a different sound. He ate the fruit. You know, let's go back, and it's Pac-Man eat fruit dot wave. So we can go back through. He didn't make any sound when he ate it. So let's go ahead and look at it. Let's, this is in our collision detection. When we're moving right, let's not play any sound, just so we can do a little debugging. So we're not playing any sounds. We won't play any sounds till we hit our fruit dot. So when we hit it, we get, you know, a ding. Let's look at what eat fruit is. So that's what the sound is. So let's look back at it. So sounds pacman underscore eatfruit dot wave async. Everything looks good. Maybe let's play this wave before we eat the fruit. Let's try that. Once again, like I said before, I'm not going to take out any of the troubleshooting because I want you guys to see how we accomplish this. So let's see. So we're getting the default system sound. I wonder what's going on here. So let's open the debugger. Go ahead and run this. And I don't think the debugger is going to tell us any information. Why are we getting that sound? It almost like it's not seeing the sound. Or seeing the file. So sounds, sounds, backslash pacman. Yeah, that looks good. Underscore eat fruit. That looks good. Dot wave, W-A-V. That looks good. Async. That looks good. So I don't see any reason why this should not work. So when we eat that sound, it should go ahead and play the sound. Hit find dot, play wave, sounds. So let's go ahead and change this to a different file type here. So pacman. We'll say chomp. Let's just run a test here. So we see chomp worked, but eat fruit didn't. So let's go back to pacman eat fruit. Maybe I spelt it wrong. Well, putting a number 4 in there is probably not your best idea. So eat fruit dot wave. So let's go ahead and run that. So I must have spelt it wrong. Sorry, it's been a long day. So if I did, I'll probably look at this footage later on and say, oh crap, why did you spell it wrong, Mark? But that's what happens. You know, you guys want to do something, you get excited, you want to do some programming. No matter how tired you are, you want to keep going. But now it works, so let me go ahead and run it again. We got our startup music. So we have our startup music going on, and then we come across, and we eat the dot. Now I know going left or right, it keeps playing the file. So we might have another condition say, you know, if music is playing, you know, we're not going to interrupt it. So we might say time, how long, things like that. So that's how we play a wave file. We can actually clean this up quite a bit. You know, if we were to mess around with some of these things where play wave is, say, you know, if it's already playing, don't play it again. Things like that. The other one I want to show you is actually game start, which is a MIDI file. So right now, we're actually playing a pretty long sound. We're actually playing a wave when we start the game. But we can also play MIDI files. Let me open this up. This is about a 1 and 20-second MIDI file. Some music going on. And you guys can kind of hear it, hopefully. I won't know until I play this back, but you can see. So you can see it's a kind of an extended version of the music file. So I'm going to stop it here. So let's play that MIDI file when we start our game. To play a MIDI file, it's a sound file from a disk, so you can play a lot of music from it. But what we're going to say is play MIDI MIDI. We're going to drill down to it. So here it's going to be sounds backslash, what is it? Game start .mid MIDI file. And then we're going to say how long. This is a local variable which actually passes in how long our file is. We can actually check this file as we play along. We can see if it's still playing. Now, one thing we want to do is when we close our program, we actually want to call this command called stop, or not stop, but stop MIDI. And the reason why we want to do that is if we don't stop the MIDI file, it will keep playing. Kind of something I've run into over time. We can actually use how long to check things. So say we had a timer where we wanted to see if the music had ended or not, or we wanted to, excuse me, a little bit of yawn there, and I apologize. It's not you guys, it's me, trust me. But how long allows us to say, okay, if we're at the end of the file, let's go ahead and play it again. You know, we can actually fire a branch label, excuse me. So we can check to see if the file is still playing. But for right now, we're just going to use it as its default. So if we run this, some code. So here's that extended version. So you can see our other sounds still play in the background, and the music's still playing. So I'll keep moving towards the red dot. And you can see all our sounds still play when we have our music in the background. So you can see it keeps playing, which is what we want. MIDI files are really great for music files. There's a lot of free ones out there, and there's a lot of ones you can use, and I'm going to stop this. So as soon as I close this, you can see it stops playing the MIDI. If we actually got rid of this stop MIDI, even after we close the window, that file would continue playing. So don't forget that, it's very important. But what we can do is we can use MIDI files, like I was just saying. There's a lot of free ones out there. And there's also ones that say that, okay, all you have to do is put a link in there, say, you know, work is contributed by, you know, Beethoven, you know, and all you have to do is put a link back to where you attributed the file from. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of open source stuff out there. People are sharing stuff. They just want credit for their work. So make sure you give those guys their credit. But I hope you guys found this interesting. Like I said, not everything's perfect with the sound files here. We could actually refine how they work by using some if statements, make sure the music isn't playing already, make sure the sound isn't playing already. So there's quite a few different things we could do to actually clean this up a lot more. But I just want to give you guys an introduction to sound. You can play MIDI files and you can play WAV files. Hope you guys got a lot out of it. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys. See you in the next lesson.